Good evening, everybody, and welcome inside the Physical Education Complex here on the campus of Coppin State University, Baltimore, Maryland. The place to be tonight as the visiting Howard Bison take on the Coppin State University Eagles in a Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference battle. About halfway through the conference season almost now. 4 games played in the MEAC between the two sides. 3-1, Howard sitting atop the standings. Coppin in the middle at 2-2. Kyle Borg here with you to bring you the play-by-play tonight as you take a look at those Mid-Eastern Athletic Conference standings. The lone undefeated team right now is Maryland Eastern Shore at 4-0. Howard right behind them, the preseason favorite to get it done. Coppin State sitting in the middle of the pack in 5th place in a tie with Morgan and South Carolina at 2-2. The team comparisons between these two sides, Howard averaging almost 65 points per contest, Coppin at just 55. Coppin does hold the rebound margin at 36-35. Howard does not turn the basketball over. They do a great job of taking care of the rock. 14 turnovers on the year. Coppin State is the 3rd most turned over team in Division I with 23.6 turnovers per game this season. Our impact players to watch, first for the visiting Bison, Zaniyah Thomas, 15.4 points a game on 44% shooting for the senior from Cleveland, Ohio, to go with 7.7 rebounds and just over 1.5 assists. 3rd team All-MEAC member last year and a preseason first-team selection this year. On the Coppin State side, Kyla Morris, fresh off a 20-point game against the number 2 ranked South Carolina Gamecocks on Sunday, averaging just a hair under 13 points a game, shooting at over 40%, has about 3 assists and 4 rebounds as well to her credit this season. The head coach for the Howard Bison in her 11th season at the helm, Ty Grace, looking to get Howard to what would be their 6th straight MEAC title game, but they have lost the last 3 to Norfolk State, looking to get Howard back into the dance for the first time since 2022. On the flip side of these benches for Coppin State, they are led by the first-year head man Daryl Mosley, looking to get the Coppin State Eagles back into the national conversation in the tournament for the first time since 2008. Thomas and Gamble tip. Thomas wins Howard the first possession as we open up quarter number 1 from the PEC Arena. Stewart will enter to Zaniyah Thomas, who will pull up from 15, and she will start 1 for 1. The Coppin State starters, McBride, Henry, Burris, Morris, and Gamble, as Morris gets a touch here and then sends it to McBride and gets it back. 15 to shoot. She'll pull up from the elbow, too heavy, rebounded by Miller. And here come the Bison. Hennigan, near side wing, looking to work it around, threw it right at McBride's hand, but she couldn't come up with the steal. Zoe Stewart with the ball as you take a look at the Howard starting 5. Hennigan, Hemingway, Stewart, who just pulled up and couldn't hit, Thomas and Miller. Loose ball corralled by Ariella Hennigan, the freshman from Chicago, Illinois, who is also fouled in the process on Aaron Henry. One more look at the Coppin 5, Gamble, Morris, Burris, Henry, and McBride. First foul on Burris, or on Henry rather, and the first of this contest as well. Thomas right at the free throw line, got stuck, fought for it, kept it alive. 3-point shot from the left side won't go down for Hemingway. Coppin able to control and clear as they're looking to get on the board quickly here. Is about 60 to make it almost 90 seconds gone, and rather here in this first quarter. Howard trying to keep Coppin State out of the paint and force them into jump shots here. McBride double teamed, does find an outlet but overthrew Burris. And here comes Thomas, lays one off. Hennigan inside whistle, blocking foul coming on Paris McBride. Her first, the team's second. And Ariella Hennigan will head to the line to shoot 2. One more look at the fast break here. It was a 3-on-1 basically, and yep, McBride sliding over late. Easy call for our officiating crew. And our first free throws of the contest go to a 79% free throw shooter as Hennigan bounces it off the front of the rim and could not hit. Second free throw also short. So Hennigan misses both. Henry quickly, right corner three, and Aaron Henry knocks down a triple as Coppin got out in transition quickly, and Henry able to spot up in that corner. And Aaron Henry, a 25% three-point shooter, able to knock that one down. Her 23rd make on the year. Count it, and a foul, and Hennigan will go to the line for three the old-fashioned way. Able to turn the corner off that screen and then flip it up from the right block with the left hand. And now Henry will exit with her second foul. And quickly off the bench is the senior transfer from Southeast Missouri State, Skylar Barnes. So Hennigan, who just missed a pair of free throws a moment ago, is back to the line to tack on one more to a three-point try, and she does. 5-3 Bison, 2 minutes gone in the first quarter. Full court pressure from Howard up the floor here, and now Morris picked up her dribble. Does find Barnes. As McBride now directing some traffic, trying to get Coppin State into their offense. A lot of perimeter passes for Coppin State, not a lot of paint touches. Down to three, they got to get one up. Taking a step around, Barnes can't hit. Rebound, Burris has it, flips it up and in. Skylar Barnes did a great job of going up and under to get the shot away before the shot clock expired, and then Burris, who's been big on the glass for Coppin State, got an offensive rebound in the putback, and we are all knotted up at 5 apiece, 3 minutes into this first quarter. Whistle, Hennigan pushed off, and Barnes able to slide over and take the charge. First foul on Hennigan, who had previously drawn 2 blocking fouls, but that time got the left arm extended and displaced Barnes, and it'll be a turnover and a foul, and the Eagles take back over. Burris right in the middle of the paint. Stop, drop step, up, under, right hand, no. Couldn't hit all the moves, but not the finish. Stewart to Hemingway, and now they'll slow things down. Thomas able to turn around, looking to drive baseline. She stepped on the end line, and Zanaya Thomas turns it over. 6:22 to go, and a sloppy start for both sides. Second Bison turnover of this one. Low scoring start. McBride gonna go one-on-one all the way inside, and she could not get the finish. Barnes, the offensive rebound. She left that one way short from 5 feet. 2 chip shot layups for Coppin State, and they couldn't get either one to go. And now a foul away from the ball. Goes against Shania Gamble. Her first, and already the 4th on Coppin State here in the first quarter. So they are 1 away from the bonus. Miller off the inbound from Hennigan. Can't hit. Morris the rebound for Coppin. Morris trying to push in transition. Lays off a bounce pass. Gamble got tied up. Luckily for her, the Eagles will keep possession. Inbounded for McBride. Gamble at the high post. Drives left. Takes a stop. Might have got away with a walk. Offensive rebound. Burris up and in. Her second bucket on her second offensive rebound. And second chance points are going to be 4-0 for Coppin State. Already their 3rd offensive rebound. in the conference. Coppin State ranks number 2 in offensive rebounds a game, and they are 100th in the country in that category with 13.3 as well. Now inside, swatted away. Miller, Thomas, not sure who got their hand on it. They were both there with 5:01 on the clock. So the next whistle will take us to the break. And now Rain Durant checks in, the UMass Lowell transfer, 21 in blue. Gamble, head fake, got Durant to go by, now got fouled on the arm. And when we return, it'll be Shania Gamble free throws for Coppin State. They do lead at 7-5, a 2-point lead halfway home here in quarter number 1. We'll take a break, return with more first quarter action from the PEC Arena after this on ESPN+.
This is Anthony Jenkins, president of Coppin State University. I believe the continuing decline of male enrollment in higher education is one of the greatest crises of this century. At Coppin State, we are bucking the national trend. We have increased male enrollment by 53%, making us Maryland's #1 HBCU in male enrollment growth. Nurturing potential and transforming lives is not just our motto, it is our promise.
Hey, grab me one too.
Of this century. At Coppin State, we are bucking the national trend. We have increased male enrollment by 53%, making us Maryland's #1 HBCU in male enrollment growth. Nurturing potential and transforming lives is not just our motto, it is our promise.
Hey, grab me one too.
Of this century. At Coppin State, we are bucking the national trend. We have increased male enrollment by 53%, making us Maryland's #1 HBCU in male enrollment growth. Nurturing potential and transforming lives is not just our motto, it is our promise.
Hey, grab me one too.
Us Maryland's #1 HBCU in male enrollment growth. Nurturing potential and transforming lives is not just our motto, it is our promise.
Hey, grab me one too.
Us Maryland's #1 HBCU in male enrollment growth. Nurturing potential and transforming lives is not just our motto, it is our promise.
Hey, grab me one too.
First foul on Burris. There's also the 5th foul, so free throws the rest of the way for Howard in this quarter. Yeah, that hand was on the elbow. Free throw doesn't drop, though, for Thomas. Just a 68% free throw shooter, but Burris went to contest and just got the outstretched elbow of the shooting arm, and it's an unfortunate foul for Burris to pick up there, but it is ultimately a good call. And now Barnes whistled for the travel and a turnover. So the lead down now to 3 after the split free throws, 9-6 Eagles. Howard's only conference loss coming to Maryland Eastern Shore, who is the lone undefeated team through the first quarter of the conference schedule. And now a travel on the Bison and Zoe Stewart, the Missouri State transfer. Trying to work something inside. Jump shot won't drop for Morris. Barnes a rebound, back for Morris. And the reset. McBride a deep 3. Got fouled by Durant. And 3 free throws for Paris McBride. An unforced error on Durant, her second. So here it is. The long closeout, and she just got in the landing zone. That's not a good foul for anybody. The Cardinals sin fouling a three-point shooter, but especially a three-point shooter that's almost 30 feet from the basket. You just let her shoot that at that point. And now McBride for 3 free throws. 84% on the year for Paris McBride. Up and in on the first. McBride, the transfer first year at the Coppin State program from Morehead State, started her career in the MEAC, but at North Carolina Central from 2020 to 2022. And now in her senior year, the Richmond native coming over to get things started for Coach Mosley's program. And she rattles in all 3 free throws. 12-6, the Eagles have doubled up the Bison. 3:25 to go, first quarter. A low-scoring affair so far. Long 2 is good. And that is April Edwards checking into the ball game for the first time alongside Jada Kendrick. And Edwards is able to put it in. Also, Dylan Watson into the game for the first time, number 2 in blue. Patricia Sosa-Laura in for Coppin State. Hartfeld the turnaround, got it. Pull up, Thomas free throw line, got nothing but the bottom of the net. (14-10) the score, 2:15 to go now. Morris wants one, can't hit. Sosa-Laura got hooked by Kendrick. And the first foul on the freshman Jada Kendrick will give Coppin State a fresh 20 on the shot clock off the offensive rebound for Sosa-Laura. Already the 5th Coppin State offensive rebound here in this one, and we're still in the first quarter. And that will make Coach Grace make a sub for Hemingway and get the 6'1" senior Niall Miller into the game. In for Sosa-Laura. She's going to go to work. Fire up a right hand. And they're going to call Sosa-Laura for an offensive foul. First on Sosa-Laura. And another Coppin turnover. Edwards throwing it over there. Miller throwing it. Coppin State has now fouled 8 times here in the first quarter. 12 fouls between the two teams, and we've also seen 12 free throws pending numbers 13 and 14 in this first quarter between the two sides. So now Howard has Durant with 2, and Coppin now has Sosa Laura and Aaron Henry with 2 fouls apiece. So early on here, it's looking like the bench depth for both teams could come into play tonight. This for the tie, and now what was a 6-point Coppin State lead is now all knotted up at 14 with 95 seconds to go in the quarter. Hartfeld gonna pull up, left elbow, and Jocelyn Hartfield knocks down another. Two up and 2 in for the senior transfer from North Texas. Miller trying to step around, and they're going to say she put that pivot foot back down and traveled. So Coppin gets the ball back on the 5th turnover for the Bison. Barnes will exit, and now Mikkel Lowry is going to check in for the first time in this opening quarter. The lone Coppin State returner from a season ago. 14 new players on this roster for Coach Mosley. Tied for tops in the nation. And just Lowry, who had her shot blocked and then deflected out of bounds off the rebound of Howard's try. Niall Miller couldn't control, and Coppin will have 17 to get a shot up. But Mikkel Lowry is that lone holdover from the Jermaine Woods era. Hartfeld had it stripped away on the floor is Hennigan, and she's able to outlet to Miller, who gets the ball up the floor. Coppin State Eagle with 2 fouls here in the opening quarter. Burris, Henry, and Sosa Laura. Two more free throws for Thomas. Up and good on the first. She's now 4 of 5 in the quarter from the charity stripe. This will be her 6th attempt of the quarter and the 10th. Make it the 11th for Howard as a team. 16 all with an 8-second differential between the shot and the game clocks. Back for Morris. 10 to shoot for Lowry. Back for Lowry off the flare. Gonna hoist. Well off. 2 strong offensive rebound. 10 seconds. Gamble for McBride. Shot clock turned off. Back for Lowry. She hesitated but knocks down a triple. And Coppin will take a 19-16 lead into the second quarter. Coppin State leads by 3, but they're going to have to clean up the defensive end because they've committed a lot of fouls here in that opening quarter. 3 players already with 2 after 10 minutes. Coppin leads by 3 going to the second quarter when we return here on ESPN+. 16 through 10 minutes as we get ready for quarter number 2. And coming in to this game, Zanai Thomas is the queen of the conference so far. The MEAC leading scorer, the MEAC leading rebounder, and the leading free field goal percentage at 44%, almost 45% through 4 conference games. And tonight she's already up to 9 points, 5 of those at the line. But a perfect 2 for 2 when she's able to get a shot off. Miller gonna stop, turn around on Wells, who's into the game for the first time. Could not hit. So Morris, Lowry, Wells, McBride, Gamble for Coppin. Thomas, Miller, Stewart, Edwards, who's guarding the basketball right now, and Newquay are the 5 for the Bison to start this second quarter. Down to 10 to shoot. Trying to find Wells. Lowry now stuck on the sideline. Has to step through and hoist up a 2. Can't hit. Gamble quickly up. She couldn't hit. And now numbers for Howard. If they go quickly, it'll be a pull-up jump shot from the left elbow for Zoe Stewart to get on the board for the first time here in this one. Gamble did not get away with that. Shuffled her feet. That's got to be a catch and shoot if you're Shania Gamble. You just got to put that up. Coppin was able to break the press and move the ball relatively easily, and then just could not get a shot away due to the travel. 6 Coppin State turnovers now. Wells going to come up, set a screen for McBride. 10 to shoot once again, late clock for the Eagles. McBride trying to get into the teeth of the defense. That's a blocking foul on, looks like it'll be number 6, Emma Newquay, the freshman and Waldorf, Maryland native. Free throws here for Paris McBride. Kylie Gary Grayson will check in for Mikkel Lowry now for Coppin State. First is up and in good by McBride. Howard keys to the game here for this one. The free throw margin is going to be big for them. They lead the conference 70%. They want to pick up their rebounding numbers. They're sitting in the middle tier of the conference, and they are allowing 40% shooting for opponents this year. So the defense for Coach Ty Grace, she wants to see pick up and stifle opposing offenses a little bit more. Another pull-up and another swish for Stewart. Her second straight basket and her second straight nothing but net. 2 pure-looking jump shots there. Now Morris stuck, finds Wells 2-on-1 with Gamble if she goes. Dribbled it off her foot. Newquay first to the floor, loose, and she was able to avoid the tie-up and get it away to start the break for Stewart. Turnaround Edwards, no. Rebound Gary Grayson. Coppin State having to play a little bit more with their bench here in the second quarter due to the foul trouble of Henry Burris and Sosa Laura, all with 2. Morris got hammered on the baseline, and she'll shoot free throws. Coppin State commits the 3rd least fouls in the conference per game at 17.6, but already they had 9 committed fouls just in that first quarter alone, which resulted in 11 free throws for Howard. That last foul on the Bison, their second, and Newquay's second as well. And the first free throw won't go for Kyla Morris. Morris hits the second. So 22-20, a 2-point Eagle advantage with 7:07 and counting now here in the second quarter. Morris lost her footing and lost the ball. Underneath, Thomas couldn't handle the pass cleanly, and then Gary Grayson trying to go for a steal. Plowed all the way through Zanai Thomas, who's a little slow to get up. little limpy getting up, but she's going to try and shake it off and stay in the game. Going to get Stewart loose. Good play. Left it flat and short. Rebound for Morris. She's going to push the pace. Behind the back dribble. Kept it alive. Now finding Barnes. And then stripped away by Niall Miller, who came out on the hard hedge and just took it from Barnes. Tough three and short on the rainbow shot, and then Thomas will get tagged for a push in the back off the rebound. Her first foul, third team, with 6:25 to go here in the opening half. Barnes splits through, couldn't get a shot or a pass away. Offensive foul on Ariella Hennigan. Got the extension just a little. It'll be her second. So Hennigan has to exit with her second. And back in is Selah Hemingway. Morris knocked away from behind. Good hands by the defense of April Edwards to force the 11th Coppin State turnover. Into the post now, working on Wells. Thomas shuffled the feet, and it'll go back to Coppin. She and Coach Grace not too thrilled with the travel call. Hartfield just back into the game now. Morris sidestep three, can't connect. Pull up again, short from Stewart. She wanted a foul, did not get one. Hartfield, little hesitation, now driving in. Got blocked. Wells off the rebound, the tip out to her. She'll fire a three, too strong for the freshman. Tipped out of bounds. Will go to Howard with 4:50 to play. 22-20. A low-scoring quarter, and both teams scoreless over the last 2.5 plus a gameplay now. The Eagles by 2 here at the break. We'll be back after this on ESPN+. 22-20. Coppin State with a narrow 2-point lead. They are scoreless over the last 2:18. Howard scoreless over the last 3+ minutes now. The last field goal for Coppin State was Mikkel Lowry's three-pointer at the end of the first quarter. That was their last shot made from the floor. They've hit 3 free throws in the quarter, and that's their only points. Howard's last field goal came just under 8 minutes at the 7:53. Well, now it doesn't matter because Thomas hits a triple. So the last made field goal is just now for Howard, and they lead by 1. Kyla Morris for Coppin State, though, 1 point now in 15 minutes of action. She is scoreless from the floor and just the one made free throw. Tried to enter it to Gamble, and Barnes threw it away. Her 4th turnover of the first half. McBride slides in and takes a charge. We have had a lot of charges called today in the first half. The majority of these fouls have been either blocks or charges. Hemingway picks up the foul, her first. So Coppin will get free throws the rest of this quarter now on the 5th team foul by the Bison. So McBride, who's re-entered the contest with Barnes and Gamble, going to set up the offense. Ten to shoot for Morris. Another hard hedge from Miller, and now they switch. She'll sidestep, pick it up, got blocked. Good defense from Niall Miller. Whistle, and Barnes somehow got in front to take a charge. This is the last block from a moment ago by Miller. Just was able to direct her hand in front of it. When we get a chance, I'd like to see that Skylar Barnes charge take as well, because I'm not sure how she got back in front of that, but good defense from Skylar Barnes. Another offensive foul. And now an illegal screen on Skylar Barnes. Her first foul. So here's the charge. It looked like she had gotten beat initially, but was able to slide mostly back in front of Hemingway. Probably could have gone either way on that one. And then she picks up an illegal screen, so the 1-point lead for the Bison continues as Coppin's scoreless drought goes to 4 minutes. Easy post entry for Thomas. She'll kick. Hemingway keeps it up. Fires a long two, they'll say, as her feet were on the line, and it goes to a 3-point lead, 25-22. Hartfield looking for some help. Finds Barnes. A rainbow three. Couldn't get the bank to go. Followed her own shot. Got it back. Scoop well off the mark. Coppin shooting it at 26% from the floor right now. Drop step. Edwards. Turnaround. Banks. Or excuse me, Kendrick. The turnaround and the bank on the drop step. 27-22. Bison by 5. Five to shoot. McBride swatted away. Hartfield got to get it up. She got it off in time. Took some contact. Couldn't get it to go. Travel on Hemingway. The 11th turnover for the Bison of this first half. Dylan Watson gets ready to return for the Bison. She'll check in for Jada Kendrick. And Zoe Stewart returns as well for April Edwards. Minute 35 to go in the first half. It's a 5-point Bison lead. They lead the quarter 11-3. They have not allowed a field goal for Coppin State. Only 3 points for the Eagles in this quarter have come via the free throw line for McBride, and then one for Morris. Barnes with 5 to shoot. Steps back, and Niall Miller slides in to take the charge. Barnes picks up her second, and now for the first time since the first quarter when she started, Erin Henry with her 2 fouls will check back in for the last minute 15 here in this first half. And you know, right now, the way this is being called, both sides able to take a lot of charges in this first half, so the defense starting to adjust a little bit on taking those. Turnaround hook for Thomas, no. Miller out of bounds. Coppin will take back over. 6 first half turnovers for Skylar Barnes. She has just about half of the 14 for Coppin State. Henry, the skip, just found Morris. She snakes through, and finally Kyla Morris gets a shot to go from the field. 3-point game, 45 ticks of the clock remain in the first half. Miller on the right wing, looking for some inside action. Instead goes to Thomas at the top of the key. Her three, no. Rebound tipped out of Watson's hands off of Hartfield last, and the Bison will keep possession. 14-second differential between the two clocks. 34.3 remains here in the first half. And then thrown away by Miller. 12th first half turnover for a team that turns it over 14 times a game. Shot clock turned off. Coppin can hold for the last shot. And they can trail by one or potentially tie going into the break. Low scoring affair after a 19-16 first quarter. Almost turned over. 10 to go for Hartfield. Down to 6. Gamble back for Henry with 4. 3, 2. Morris didn't hoist. McBride will got it off. And she is a little bit long. And the Bison turn a 3-point deficit into a 3-point lead through 20 minutes. Joined now by the head coach, Daryl Mosley for Coppin State. Coach, your team led by 3 at the end of one, now trailing by 3. They were able to draw quite a few charges in that first half. What did you like from your defense for that first 20 minutes?
Well, we were supposed to pack it in and hold them to one shot, and we're still giving up second and third chance rebounds. So we got to get that part figured out, which led us to getting in foul trouble because we're giving them second and third chances, and then they're just going into our body and they're bailing them out and putting them on the free throw line. So gave up way too many free throws in that first half.
Coach, the offense struggled a little bit in that second quarter, just the one made shot from the floor. How do you go about adjusting that into the second half?
Well, we got to execute. We got to be confident with the ball, and we got to step up and be shot ready. I think we're too antsy on our passes. We're not looking for a shot. We're over dribbling. We're trying to shoot over length instead of taking, what they're giving us. And so just got to be more poised offensively, move the ball. Hopefully with our post players coming back in, get the ball inside, and be able to have a balanced attack.
Coach, thanks for your time. Best of luck in the second half.
Thank you.
Head coach Daryl Mosley here on the broadcast at halftime. His team trails 27-24 here through 20 minutes. The Bison take a 3-point deficit and turn it into a 3-point lead. We will take a break and return with more from a low-scoring first half when we return here on ESPN+. They trailed by 3 after the first quarter. And after holding Coppin to just 1 of 10 shooting in the second quarter, they now lead it by 3. Let's take a look at your halftime stats. Howard, when they were able to get a shot away, they shot it at 40% to just the 25% of Coppin State, in large part due to 12 first-half turnovers for the Bison and 14 turnovers for Coppin State. The Eagles do lead the rebound battle 22-13, including 11-3 on the offensive glass. That's something Howard's going to want to clean up and fix going into the second half to maintain this lead. Neither side really moving the ball too well. 6 assists for the Bison, 5 for Coppin State. But if you look at the made shot totals, those are pretty close together. And then 25% three-point shooting to 22% three-point shooting. And then points in the paint are relatively low for both sides. 8-4 in favor of the Eagles. Zaniyah Thomas leads all scorers with 12 points on 3 of 6 shooting, including 5 of 6 from the line. 3 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and 3 blocks for the senior from Cleveland, Ohio. She did not come out of the game in the first half. Kyla Morris, just 3 points on 14% shooting, 1 of 7 from the line, or from the floor, 1 of 2 from the free throw line, 2 rebounds, 2 assists, and a steal. And she also did not come out of the game in that first. Completed. Let's take you through that first 20 minutes with our first half highlights. A big-time offensive rebound advantage for Coppin State, in large part thanks to Sydney Burris. They have 11 offensive rebounds. Jocelyn Hartfield is 2 for 3 from the floor for 4 points. This was Lowry's 3 at the end of the first quarter. That was one of the last 2 Coppin State made buckets from the floor. Niall Miller coming up big with some big-time defense for Coppin State. Henry rattled in a 3 early, and that was it because she went to the bench with foul trouble, as did 3 Eagles. That was the last made Coppin bucket from the floor. The only made shot in that second quarter from the field for the Eagles was via Kyla Morris. It was an 11-5 scoring quarter for the Bison, where they shot 5 of 13 and held Coppin a 1 of 10 shooting. It's a 3-point lead. When we return, we will have the second half for you. On the other side of the break, you're watching MEAC Women's Basketball on ESPN+. Where they lead at 28-23. It was a tale of 2 quarters. It was 20-5 Delaware State after 1, and then in the second quarter an 18-8 turnaround for South Carolina State makes it a 5-point game. Huggins leads all scorers with 8 points for Delaware State. And then down the way in Norfolk, Morgan State falls 78-52. J.L. Butler led the Bears with 18 points on 50% shooting with 6 rebounds. Joshua Clinton led Jermaine Woods' Spartans with 18 points, 4 rebounds, 4 assists, 4 steals in 34 minutes of action on 8 of 12 shooting. The Spartans had 4 players in double figures as well. Coppin State will travel to Norfolk State on Saturday to take on the Spartans in the first of 2 meetings this year. That return game will be here in Baltimore to close out the home season for Coppin State on February 28th. Their next 5 matchups as scheduled right now, weather permitting. And that does not include the few that Coppin State has had as well. We are in double digits on the offensive foul side today. Hannigan with a strip, and she's off to the races. Floater, got it, no, wave it off. It's an offensive foul. The 9th offensive foul for Howard. One more look. Look at McBride sprint back, get in position. That's a great call. Great hustle from Paris McBride as well. That is textbook how to take a charge. That's the kind of film that you cut up and show to young players who need to learn how to take charges. Is you just take that right there and you send it out and say, that's what it should look like. Now McBride has it on the offensive end. A runner won't go. Gamble tagged with an offensive foul on the push-off on the rebound. April Edwards has returned for Howard. They fake it to her, give it to Stewart. Pull up, strong. Stewart struggling from the floor. Offensive rebound, put back, no. Gamble taps it out to Edwards, who will bring it out and reset the offense with 15. Ty Grace is upset at the illegal screen call on Zanaya Thomas. It's her 3rd, and now we'll have a conversation with the officials. But did they just change the number? They're going to change it to an Aaron Henry 3rd foul. All right, well, the referees got together and changed it to a defensive foul, but it's nonetheless a player's 3rd personal. And then it leads to a Thomas bucket. 32-26. Inside Burris. Did not keep her foot. And she traveled in a turnover. Henry will exit. Barnes will check in. Edwards will walk it up with a 6-point lead. Thomas, guarded closely by Gamble, spinning around to the baseline, trying to cross back over, shooting over Gamble, and a foul, and I don't know what else you want Shania Gamble to do. Third on Gamble. Genesis Perrin getting ready to check in for Howard. The 6'5" senior forward from Norwich, Connecticut. Checks in for Thomas, who will exit for the first time today. So that's Perrin in for Howard, Hartfield and Sosalora for Burris, and Gamble for Coppin State. It's a tough third foul on Shania Gamble. Not sure what else you really want her to do in that situation. There's been some good defense played throughout on both ends and some tough whistles as well. It's an 8-point lead now for Howard. Coppin needs a bucket desperately here. They didn't see the shot clock. 18 turnovers for Coppin State. Inside, held ball will keep it with Howard. Firing one into Miller. Touch foul out top. Sosa Laura gets called for her third. Inside Miller. Kicking it back out. Hemingway inside, and Coppin just has to back off to avoid whistles. And the lead grows to 10. Coppin's got 7 points in the last 2 quarters now, in the second and now in the third, combined in those quarters after 19 in the first. Hartfield to the corner. Barnes swatted. Punched in the face, no whistle on the tip, and now we'll stop for an injury timeout. Lowry will check in for Barnes. As we take a look here as she goes for the rebound, Miller came in late, got her in the face. Drop step Hemingway traveled, and Coppin will take back over. 5.5 to go in the third. Coppin trails by 10. Howard is stifling this offense right now. That was one of the keys to the game for Coach Grace and her Bison side. Lowry just jacks one up. And another stop for Howard. They almost threw it away inside, and that's going to be a blocking foul on Jocelyn Hartfield. Be her second. 5:01 to go, and it's free throws here for Stewart. Howard's defense, which allows teams to shoot 40% on the year, is holding Coppin State to just 24% this season. Or tonight, I should say. Rather, missed free throw there from Zoe Stewart, who was 80% coming in. This her first trip to the line. Lowry off a screen, throw it across the way, and now it works itself to the corner. Hartfield on the pop, it's a three, can't hit. Sosa Laura went to tip it, but could not control it. 4:41 to go. It'll be Howard ball when we return. They lead by 11, 37-26 here at the media timeout in quarter number 3. We're back after this on ESPN+. Howard, an 11-point lead halfway home in the third quarter, 37-26. They have held Coppin to 1 of 6 shooting in this quarter, outscoring the Eagles 10-2. Coppin's last field goal came at the 9:18 mark. They are now almost 5 minutes scoreless. Stewart into the post. Thomas turning, firing, not hitting. Sosa Laura a rebound. Coppin desperately needs points here. It's a Lowry corner three. No. Hartfield fighting for the loose ball. On the floor. Jump will keep it with Coppin State with 3:59 to go. Opposite corner to Lowry. McBride wants it back. Instead, Lowry going to fire one up. She can't hit. Ran down her own miss. Another fresh 20 for Coppin. To Sosa Laura. Back for Lowry. Wanting it back is Sosa Laura. She will get it with 10. Backing her defender down. They're going to say not anything there on the post up. Instead, that little flop warning signal. And Miller running the floor, and another bucket for the Bison. The lead is 13. 5.5 scoreless over the last now. Make it a 12-0 run for the Bison. Lowry three, can't connect. Rebound for the Bison. And number 23, Zoe Stewart, out ahead. Back for Stewart, 3 ball. Off left, and a rebound for Coppin. McBride had it tapped loose by Edwards from behind, and the outlet to Stewart. Doesn't have numbers, gonna bring it out, and wait for some reinforcements. Howard's defense has been stifling today. Drive, Miller, timeout, Daryl Mosley, 41-26, the score. Howard all over Coppin State since the end of the first quarter. We'll take a break, return with the final 2.5 when we come back here on ESPN+. 2:27 to go here in the third quarter. Coppin once again shooting 1 of 10 from the floor here in this third quarter. That's back-to-back quarters now, 1 of 10 shooting. There's still 2:27 to go. They haven't attempted a free throw in this quarter either. They're actually 8 of 9 from the line tonight, but they haven't been able to get back there. Hartfield, they desperately need one, and Hartfeld delivers. 7 points for the senior from North Texas. That puts an end to a nearly 7-minute scoring drought for Coppin State. Burris back in, McBride the rebound, and she is plowed over by Niall Miller for her first personal foul and the third team foul. Full court pressure now for the first time in a while by Howard. Outlet up ahead, Hartfield. Up and around, and Hartfield's got 9. Jocelyn Hartfield has been a welcome spark for Coppin State tonight. Miller to the post, gets it back. She'll hoist. It's a long 2, no. Rebound Burris, and now for McBride. Under a minute and a half to go in the third quarter. Leads down to 10 after it was as large as 15 just a moment ago. Henry can hit. Burris had it tipped away. It'll stay with Coppin State. Burris off the inbound, can hit. Hartfield is displaced, and the fourth team foul gives Coppin State another chance. Who is that on? It's on Stewart, her first. Burris again slipping through, and she got fouled by Miller. Free throws coming for Sydney Burris. Second on Miller, now both teams over the foul limit. First free throws of the quarter for Coppin State, where they're 8 of 9 as a team tonight. 60% is Sydney Burris, the Milwaukee, Wisconsin native and the transfer from UNC Asheville. Bounces home the first. Hits both. So what was a 7-minute scoring drought is now a 7-0 Coppin run over the last minute and a half. And we're down to 60 seconds to go, and this is a whole new ball game. 8-point lead. Trap from Coppin State near midcourt. Swatted away and stolen. McBride for Hartfield. Lets the defender fly by. Can't hit the layup, though. Everything but the finish. And a Zanaya Thomas rebound. Hartfield steps in and is whistled for a foul. Third on Hartfield, and right now Coppin State cannot afford Jocelyn Hartfield not being on the court. Here's a look at the foul. I mean, I don't know. I think we can let that one go. She got ball first, and then it was the off arm. There are certain things tonight, both sides, that could have been let go. A lot of ticky-tack calls in a game that's seen almost 40 whistles. Thomas hits both. She's now 9 of 10 at the line, and she's got 18 points, half of them coming from the free throw line. Ten-point lead, shot clock's off for McBride, who will stand at the U in the center court logo. Direct the offense now with 12. Gets inside, McBride hit on the head. She's going to the line. Foul will be tagged to Rain Durant, I believe. 21 it is. It's her third. She only played 2 first-half minutes because she picked up 2 quick fouls, did the junior transfer from UMass Lowell, and now back in getting her third foul. She and Hannigan are the only 2 with 3 for Howard. Henry, Gamble, Hartfield, Sosa, Laura with 3 apiece for Coppin State. A lot of foul trouble on both sides as we head to the fourth quarter in 7.6 seconds. McBride a perfect 7 of 7 from the line, 8-point game. They're going to pick back up full court here. 2 seconds knocked away, shot away off the back of the rim of Niall Miller's right hand. And it's an 8-point Bison lead. 43-35. Howard through 30 minutes. We've played 30. We have 10 more to go in this scheduled 40-minute contest. We'll take a break and return with the final quarter from the PEC Arena after this on ESPN+. Leads all scorers with 18 points. Miller with 6 as well for the Bison. Hartfield and Burris lead the Eagles with 9 and 8 respectively. But that 11-5 quarter in the second is looming large for Coppin State right now. They're going to need a big-time fourth quarter effort to get back in this one. They are, over the last 2.5 of gameplay, on a 9-2 run, however. Edwards gives it up. Stewart, no look, backdoor fine, and it does end up getting through, relocating, and now taking a step in off the dribble. No, couldn't hit the shot was Kendrick. 3-ball on the second chance by April Edwards. Second double-digit lead now in the contest for the Bison at 11. Their largest was 15. McBride, the answer off the front of the rim. And Coppin will maintain possession as it was deflected off of Zoe Stewart's hands by Hartfield. Hartfield all the way in, downhill, and she gets to the line. This is where Coppin State's biggest positive today outside of the rebound margin has been. Just 7-9 on the year for Hartfield coming into this contest. First trip today, 2 strong. Missed both. And the loose ball picked up by McBride, and she ends up getting 2 points. So the missed free throws result in points for Coppin State. 18 offensive rebounds for the Eagles. They let Miller out of the trap, and she'll reset. Edwards working on the near side. Into the post. Turn around. Rain Durant on the board for the first time. And a foul. Stewart picks up her second. A new career high in counting now for Jocelyn Hartfield. Prior of 7 was her season and career high. That is now 9 in counting. She had the 7 against Lincoln. early on in just the second game of this season. 3, McBride short. Rebound tapped around. Henry got it swatted by Kendrick was there for the rejection, and then out of the pile with it comes Howard. Edwards gonna milk the clock with an 11-point lead. Hartfield coming up limping a little bit up the sideline after contesting the Kendrick jumper. 3 almost banked from the corner. Hartfield down behind the play. She is struggling right now, and a lay-in for Zoe Stewart, and that is not good news for Coppin State. And now Hartfield goes and sits down in the courtside seats on the far side. And it's going to send Jordan Adderley into the game for the first time today. Coach Mosley trying something new. Head in her hands for Jocelyn Hartfield, who is having a career night. She is not able to put any pressure on that left foot. She tried to get up and walk. She's going to be unable to. And now Coach Kevin Green's coming over to try and help Coach Mosley and the trainer out for Coppin State. And now she will be carried by her 2 coaches off to the Coppin bench. The senior transfer from North Texas with a career high 9 points tonight on 4 of 7 shooting in 20 minutes of play will exit this one, and hopefully going forward everything will be okay for Jocelyn Hartfield. But an unfortunate scene here in the 4th quarter. Not sure exactly, won't speculate the injury. It is a left leg injury, so it's not the leg that has the brace on it. It is her other leg. She did not play last year at North Texas and only played in 7 games in the 23-24 season. And now at Coppin State, she missed a few games, able to get back against South Carolina where she had a good game, having a career game tonight, and now she'll exit. And let's see if Coppin State can pick it up down 13 to try and pick up their senior teammate. Down to 8, Morris the skip, Henry ripping, firing up a floater, can't connect, loose ball, Adderley couldn't run it down, and here comes Kendrick and Howard inside, laying it off, offensive foul, our 10th offensive foul of the game between the 2 sides, and the 4th foul on Hennigan. Or excuse me, on Kendrick rather, that is Kendrick's 3rd foul. And the 3rd team, a 13-point, 50-37 lead. And Coppin State is desperately in need of some points. They need to start stringing together some makes. Another long 2+ minute scoring drought for Coppin. Burrish trying to go high-low, threw it away. Niall Miller was all over that. Her now 2nd steal of this contest. Miller had 3 steals against NC Central in an 8-point win in their last game last week. Hennigan giving it up. Firing one in, and then fumbling it out of bounds was Rain Durant. 6.5 clock quickly ticking away for Coppin State. The Eagles, who have dominated the glass, dominated second chance points, unable to get anything going here in the 4th quarter. Adderley had it altered, and a rebound for Miller. I believe Durant was there to get her hand on it. They almost threw it away, but able to keep it, and now Hennigan able to get it across. Coppin's got to pick up the defensive intensity here, like they did at the end of that third quarter when they were able to cut the lead from 15 in half down to 8. Pull up, Hennigan just inside the arc. She's now got 8 on a perfect 3-for-3 night from the floor. Henry driving baseline, gonna recycle to the left corner for Morris. Taking a lot of time off the clock as McBride will head back to the line where she's 7 for 7 today. Hennigan now with her 4th personal foul with 5:21 to go in the 4th. Skylar Barnes will check in for the first time in this half for Aaron Henry. McBride and Hartfield lead the team with 9 apiece, so McBride can be the first Eagle in double figures, and she does. Paris McBride now with her 8th double-digit scoring output of the season. And her 15th of her career as she calmly sinks both free throws to go 9 for 9, and this will set up the full court pressure for Coppin State in a 2-2-1. They beat it through the middle, and now it becomes a 2-on-1. Pull up, short, rebound. Morris tipped it to herself, and she's off to the races, trying to force one up ahead. Gonna put the brakes on. Now pick up her dribble and find McBride. They gotta go quick. Burris double teamed in the post, drop stepping around. Right hand, what a move from Sydney Burris. 11-point contest now. Again through the middle. That can't happen if you're Coppin State. You gotta cut off that middle pass because Zanaya Thomas has broken your pressure a few times now and 2 in a row with that easy relief pressure in the middle. Stewart, who's had a tough night shooting the ball, gives it up. It cycles in for Hennigan, and she'll get fouled on the jump shot. Fouls on McBride to send us to the final media timeout with 4:31 to go in the 4th quarter. 11-point Bison lead, 52-41. We'll take one final break and return with more from the PEC Arena here in just a moment on ESPN+. Shoot the first free throw, went a little early, did the restart. So Zanaya Thomas was our player to watch. 15 points, 7 rebounds on average. 18, 7, and 5 today for the MEAC leading scorer, Zanaya Thomas. 4 of 9 shooting, 9 of 10 from the free throw line. Got 3 blocks and a steal as well in 28 minutes of action. First free throw once again goes down for Hennigan. And she will hit the second. Gotta have it, they get it. 44-54 goes the score, and it almost threw it away. McBride to the corner. Barnes gathered in, hits the 3. Timeout, Daryl Mosley. It's a 7-point game, 56-49. So Coppin State trying to mount a comeback. This is the closest it's been in a while. The lead that was 15 with 5.5 to go here in the 4th quarter has been cut in half as the Coppin offense is trying to get back in it. Buckets as they're trying to pick up their teammate Jocelyn Hartfield, who exited earlier in this quarter with an injury, unlikely to return tonight. But McBride and Morris with back-to-back assists, and then Barnes was the recipient of the and one pass from Morris, and then the pass from McBride in the corner to hit the three. So it's a 6-0 run for Skylar Barnes, or a 6-2 run for Skylar Barnes after Zadiah Thomas just hit a turnaround a moment ago. Howard will look to break the press, and they're going to run their football play here. 4 low and across the baseline, and a quick inbound and return it to the inbounder, and now work it around. They let it go middle to Thomas, back for Hemingway, and she skips it across, and now Coppin with that token pressure that time. It looked like just backed off as they broke the pressure, but Howard is looking to milk the clock while also still trying to score the basketball. Inside, easy pass, Thomas, she's got 22. Skipped for Morris. Inside, Morris. Held ball. Daryl Mosley can't believe it. Luckily, though, for his side, it stays with Coppin State. Morris into the corner. She traveled. .22 turnovers for Coppin State. Right on their average of 23. Burris will foul, her third, and that's going to reset the shot clock to 20 with when it was down to 9. Not a good foul from Burris. And at this point, if you're Coppin, though, you can't afford not to pressure the ball there because Howard's trying to take as much time as they can. Whistle, foul, block on Barnes. Her third. So now 3 points here. Hemingway got the first. She is 69% on the season. Now 1 for 1 today. This pushed the lead to 10. She can put it back to 11, which she does. And now Edwards checks out for Jada Kendrick. Howard, of course, picked to finish as the champions of the conference in the preseason poll. They've been to 5 straight MEAC title games. The last 3 have gone the way of Norfolk State. I believe those two sides have met in 4 straight title games as well. Howard's last tournament appearance in 2022 when they lost to eventual champion South Carolina. We'll get a foul and free throws coming. It's on Niall Miller. That's 5, and Miller has fouled out. With 1:47 to go in the fourth, Miller, her night is done. 6 points, 6 rebounds, 3 assists, a steal, and a block in 35 minutes for Niall Miller. April Edwards has checked back in. Now Kylie Gary Grayson getting ready to check in for Coppin State as well. Burris hits the first free throw. Looks like she will come in for Burris after this if she is able to connect on the second. Burris 3 for 3 tonight. at the line. 4 for 4. One of the positives for Coppin State tonight. 17 of 20 at the line. That and the rebound and second chance points have been dominated by Coppin State, but the game on the floor has been dominated by Howard. And quickly off to the races, and Burris just laid out Ariella Hennigan on the run like a free safety, laying out a defenseless receiver. Hopefully Hennigan is okay. Took a shot, I think, to the side of the head. So she does get up, and they're going to go look at it. So here it is, running right into the brick wall. That is Sydney Burris. Not an intentional. She just put her head down to dribble, and Burris was sliding over to try and cut it off, and she got her shoulder to the side of the head. Hennigan listed at 5'6", Burris listed at 6 foot, so that 4-inch differential is where we go. So they're going to go look at it to a flagrant. The minute 45 to go. That was only the 4th team foul. It was the 4th team foul on Coppin and the 4th personal on Burris. As the referees go to the monitor. So if it is upgraded, it's free throws and the ball. If it's not, it's just the ball for Howard.
After review, the call on the floor stands as a common foul against 21 Coppin State.
Just a common foul, so a sideline inbound coming for the Bison, who do have all 4 of their timeouts and the possession arrow. One more look at it there. Looked worse than it was full speed. Hennigan did get up. She does remain in the game, I think. Yes, she actually does, in fact, check out, as Stewart has checked back in. So they did take Hennigan out, probably just to ensure everything is okay. And they can take this down to about a minute 10. Ten to shoot. Thomas for the dagger, can't quite sink it. 9. Hits the first. Hits both. 11-point game, 62-51. Under a minute to go. For Burris, air ball, that likely to do it. We'll see. Coach Mosley might call him off here and just let this run down. It looks like Coach Mosley might call him off here and just let this run down. It looks like that's how they're going to play it. And now there is a foul on Morris, and that'll turn off the shot clock with 26.9 throws, 24 and 25 for Howard today. They've now hit 20 of the 24. Hits both, make it 21 to 25 as a team. 64-51 the score. Shot clock is off. Gary Grayson to the left hand, no. And with 15 seconds, all Howard has to do is get across, and that should be the ball game. Howard holds Coppin to 16 points in the fourth while scoring 21 of their own to maintain that lead. And held them to just 27% free throw or field goal percentage. They win it by 13. We'll be joined in just a moment, I believe, by the head coach of Howard, Ty Grace, when we come back here on ESPN+. Quarter outscored Coppin 11-5. What was the difference to get the offense rolling ultimately in that second quarter throughout the rest of this game?
I just thought we were playing a little fast. We got some offensive fouls early in the game, and they were stopping our drives. But we just had to take our time and move the ball, get the ball inside the Z. She did a great job. She was getting some fouls drawn, and so we just need to slow down and play our game.
And, Coach, you gave us keys to the game earlier. You wanted the defense really to pick it up, and you kind of stifled the offense. Your team was allowing 40% opponent field goal percentage. Tonight, just 22%. What did you really like, and what was really that key defensively to ultimately force Coppin into some tough shots?
That 20% is who we've been, most of the season, and that 40% was uncharacteristic. We just talked about getting back to who we are, and we defend, we play defense, and we try to stifle teams offensively. And they just did a good job, like everything we were in, zone, man-to-man. We just did a really solid job keeping the ball out the paint.
And, Coach, you know how tough this conference is night in and night out, and about 5 games in now. That leaves you with 9 left